It is a Swedish showdown on a Wednesday night in Steinbach, and there's a lot more at stake than a Players' Championship. Rana Hasselborg coming up on Rock Channel. About 45 minutes down the road from Winnipeg, you'll find Steinbach, Manitoba, the Southeast Event Center. What a facility, less than a year. It's been open. The ticket office has been busy as the doors open again for the final draw of day 2. Fans making their way to the seats. Yes, we are in the heartland of curling here on the prairies, a final event before the Olympics. There's a lot to get to, so welcome back inside the Southeast Event Center. High gain curling fans. Devin Heroux for Rock Channel. We have a jam-packed show just a short time from now. We're going to talk to Curling Canada's David Murdoch and get into all things Canadian curling as the Olympics come into focus less than a month away now, if you can believe it. But the story this week is right here on the ice behind me at the Players' Championship, the final stop on the Grand Slam of Curling Tour. If you missed today, where have you been? Let's get to the highlights right now and take a look at some of the great shots from earlier today, starting with the #1 men's ranked team in the world. How about this long run back off the Crown Royal Crown? 3 for Team Mowat, cruising to victory. They made it look easy. They have for a lot of this year, from one Scottish team to another. Team Waddle, outstanding earlier today. They made quick work of Team Dunstone. That was for 3 in the second. And then take a look at this. It's good to be red. It's good to be Team Waddle. 5 on the board. They ran away with it. Handshakes before the 8th end, to be sure. Okay. Team Anderson basically playing in her own backyard. A beautiful tap to the back of the button to put all the pressure on Japan's Team Tabata. And while Carey had the hammer, she needed to score 2, and she didn't even have to throw her last. Bumps up Anderson for 2. Handshakes, game over, a wild one. 8-7 the final. You saw Team Adine earlier. They're the defending Olympic champions. Here's a beauty right there. Had to sit right there for 2, but of course they would lose at 1 to Team Mowat. And early this morning in an Olympic matchup preview, Team Returnage getting the victory here. Jacobs need to make a thin double to try and force a draw to the button. Nearly made a Hackner-like double. Not able to get it. And in the draw just a short time ago, Holman not able to make them all go away. Crazy ending to that one, actually. Fujisawa gets the victory, a 5-4. And guess what? Fujisawa has beaten Holman every time they played this year, so she has her number. There's a look at the scores from earlier today, a full day of curling. I won't go line by line, but you can see it all there as we nicely get underway here at the Players' Championship. A reminder as you look over at these scores that there are 5 games in the round robin. Normally there are 4, but this is the Players' Championships. 2 pools of 6. The top 6 advance to the playoffs. The top 2 go directly to the semifinal. So that is the carrot should you place atop the standings. We are very, very far away from that as we just about get ready for practice here. Team Hasselborg and Team Rana the featured game here tonight, and I mentioned a quick tease off the top. There's a subplot to all of this. In Sweden, they go down to points, rankings, to determine who they're going to send to the World Championship. Well, Team Rana is something like 13 points ahead of Team Hasselborg, putting all of the weight on this event. And guess what? Team Hasselborg is off to a 2-0 start. Team Rana is 0-2. Suffice to say, it's a big-time Swedish showdown here tonight. All right, you are up to date. We're going to take a break, and on the other side of the break, Curling Canada's David Murdoch. We got a lot to talk about. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back inside the Southeast Event Center. They love curling in this province. A Grand Slam of curling hasn't been in this province for 8 years. We're back, and the fans are back, unsurprisingly, as the teams are on the ice getting ready for tonight's final draw, the second day of play here at the Players' Championship. Well, like I said before the break, David Murdoch from Curling Canada is here, and he joins me now on the pregame show. Happy New Year, David.
Happy New Year.
It is an Olympic year. How are you? Yes. How are you feeling? How's Team Canada feeling as the Olympics come into focus?
Yeah, I mean, obviously very busy. You know, had the trials, and that was, you know, it took a lot out of every team, I think. And you know, now we have our winners with our Jacobs and Homan there, and obviously, you know, they need some recovery. It takes a lot out of you. It's such a big event, and you know what comes from that as well. And I think our teams have just had a time to, you know, we've had an event in December, but probably too early one for them at that moment in time. And now, you know, had some, you know, some vacation, had some recovery, and now it's the build-up, right?
Yeah, well, Brad Jacobs told us on the post-game show he was on a cruise ship and flew right from Miami to here. What do you make of that, of getting away from the rink after such an emotional high? You saw that hangover at the Slam in Saskatoon, but to just get away, knowing that the Olympics are a month and a half away, I think it can be a good thing to step away sometimes.
I think everyone's so different,
right?
And you know, you look at these two teams, and they've had so much experience. They've been to the games, they understand it. And for Brad, I think he realized that, do you know what, it's actually good to just have a little reset here. You know, it's been super busy in the lead up. It took a lot out of all our teams, and you know, you just want to deal with, you know, being present with your family and getting some time because you know what's about to come, which is, again, very, very busy, and it's going to take a toll.
To the point of the Olympic trials hangover, history maybe for all the wrong reasons at the Slam. No Canadian team making it to the Slam semifinals. What does that represent to you, David? And should people panic?
Yeah, I don't think it's panic, no. I mean, I think we probably looked at that Slam from a Canadian lens and said, that's going to be tough. You know, I mentioned the trials already. You know, motivation's going to be low. And that's just the reality. You've been working hard for 4 years to achieve one thing. And it either happens or it doesn't. And either way, you're going to be tired and the enjoyment and emotion from that, or there's the stress of like, what next? I've not achieved my goal. This is the end of a quad. For some, it could be potential retirement. It could be, investigating new teams. So there's a lot just within 2 weeks of a trials. That's quite hard to deal with. So that's just the reality of that event.
You bring such a unique and valuable perspective to curling in this country because you've come from a different country. You've won in Scotland, and there's a different model there. There's a model that has a high-performance training center in Stirling. I was there in May. It's brilliant. They're playing every day. They're training every day. There's chemistry. Do you think in this country we have valued that chemistry enough?
I think what we're starting to realize is that, we're seeing systems like this. We're seeing the SCOR system and what that's now produced. So I think for us, it's a bit of realization of like, what are we willing to do to try and adapt to that? We're a huge country. We've got curlers all over. We're starting to build out, some regional performance centers. Is that something that in time will create that same type of environments? In the meantime, I think what we've got to try and do as athletes, and I've been communicating this too, is like, how are we going to train more often as a team, between events as regular as possible? Because that's what we're going to need to do. So that, those funds are there. Our coaches and staff are able to go to these places and help with the teams, but we're going to have to engage. We're going to have to look at this a little bit differently. This is the new reality of world curling.
Brilliant stuff. You have been to a number of Olympics. What are you feeling right now? As media, we love to build up these 100 days, 50 days, 30 days. I'm seeing the 1 month circulate around the socials. Where did you want to be, David, and where do our Canadian teams want to be right now, 1 month out?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a good spot. I mean, obviously you're looking at results, but ultimately we have to understand that, you've got to ride the waves a little bit, and we've been busy, and I think we've got to look at right now. Our preparations are good. We're ready to go to Italy. We're getting our staging camp ready, and our athletes are actually I think they're just ready to get in the plane. I think that's where it's at. We've got our event this week, fine-tuning a few things, getting back on the horse a little bit. We've had a break, but in terms of like where we're at, I think we're real good. I think we're comfortable. We've got a good plan in place. The athletes are up to speed about some of our operations and logistics. So I think now it's just let's get on that plane and let's go.
And let's go is right. And it's not like these teams don't have the experience, right? They are battle tested. They know what they're walking into. We have the schedule, so why don't we look at them right now and get it up on our monitor here. There's the first one for Team Jacobs. They start against Germany, then USA. Then you got a bit of a gauntlet, David. You've got Sweden, Switzerland. Then you look down at Great Britain as well. You finish off against Norway. I know that game against Italy will be supercharged and important as well. No free bingo spaces.
Well, there just isn't. I think that's, like I mentioned, that's where world curling is at. There's such good teams, and top to bottom, when you look at those teams there, they've all got such quality. They're all in the Grand Slams. They're all regular appearances at World Championships. They've got experiences. So, I think we just need to look at this and, hey, we've got to bring our A game. This is what it's going to be. We've got to, game a day or thereabouts, and we've got to bring our best foot every single day. That's what it's going to take.
Those times are all Eastern times, so for those 3 a.m. Eastern times, put the coffee on and wake up with us for coverage. Let's take a look at Team Homan's schedule. She's making her third consecutive appearance at the Olympics and wanting to find a way into the playoffs, no doubt. Number one team on the planet. She's been so solid. There it is right there, David, as we look over it. Opening against Madeleine Dupont, a team she's played at the Olympics before. USA, Great Britain, Switzerland. That'll be a big one, no doubt. And you want to find a way to get in that 1 or 2 spot, don't you? Because, you know all about those semifinals at the Olympics as well. So placing will be massive.
It is, and similar with the women's side too. It's a strong field. I know Rachel's looking at this and thinking, same as most teams, you want to start well. But I think for Rachel and the team, it's just getting to know that ice. As soon as they can get the ice reading in there, they're going to make a lot of shots. They're the best team in the world, and we know when they're dialed in and comfortable with getting the ice in the rocks that they're going to make a lot of shots. So I think that's going to be the critical component, is just getting into the groove of what do we have in front of us here, and how do we make the most of what it is, and then we're going to make a lot of shots.
What do we know about the conditions in Cortina? It's an old venue. I think Mark Callum is making the ice there, a fellow Scottish lad from World Curling.
Yeah, it's been interesting just talking to. I was speaking to Hans Wuthrich there, about the building. We had the World Juniors there last year, but the test event didn't quite go to plan. We didn't have the air handling unit working that will be in place for the games, so the test event probably didn't get the proper test, and that's maybe the concern. But the reality is, we've got Greg Owasco, Mark Callan, best people in the business, and they will figure it out. I've got no doubt that it's going to be good there. The World Championships in 2010, and this was air handling that was installed. It was really good. The ice there was great. Dave Merkliner made the ice. Kevin Cooey won that event. So I've got no concern we're going to have good conditions. I think it's just a case of what is it exactly? How much curl we're going to have? What's the speed? Let's get adjusted, right?
Well, we know World Curling has regulations around how much curl there is, so we'll see how that plays out, David.
That's true. That's very true. So between 4 and 5 feet.
Right, exactly. Hey, one last quick one. Crazy to think about how life can work, where 1 minute you're in a 2014 Olympic final against Team Jacobs, and now you're in the red and white leading Team Jacobs into the Olympics. Have you wrapped your head around that and the gifts of life, David?
Well, that's sliding doors sometimes.
Yeah,
and,
isn't it?
It's fascinating where life can take you, and I'm super enjoying this job. Just very driven to be successful and help our teams get that success. But it was interesting, actually, a year ago, myself and Victor went to the Sault Ste. Marie to work with Brad and EJ. So there's the gold medalist, the silver medalist, and the bronze medalist from Sochi, all sitting around the table. We looked at each other, just laughed. We're like, who'd have thought this would happen? So yeah, it's interesting where life takes you at times.
Brilliant stuff. All on Team Canada now, which we are glad about, no doubt. David Murdoch with Curling Canada on the pregame show. As we count down to first rocks here, we'll take a break, and we'll be back. Thanks for doing this, David. All right. We are in Steinbach, Manitoba at the Southeast Event Center. What a facility. The fans have been outstanding so far, and this thing is just going to build all the way to Championship Sunday. Still early days as you take a look at our broadcast location, and look who is beside me, everybody's favorite curling mom and grandma, Carol Jones, on her birthday. Happy birthday, Carol. Wonderful to see you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
How many birthdays have you celebrated in a curling rink, Carol?
I'm going to say give or take 50.
And, of course, your daughter, Jennifer Jones, is off camera here. What does it mean to be all together on your birthday? Because there have been a lot of sacrifices you've made over the years.
You know what? It's been amazing. And actually, because this event happened to hit Manitoba, yay. And I'm only an hour away from home, so made the trip out. Jen's here, Brent's here, Bella is obviously here, and my other granddaughter from Winnipeg came out today, so we had a birthday dinner. It was awesome.
Everybody's here, and you deserve to be celebrated. You got your candle. You've been shaking it around.
I have, and I think I'm running out of battery almost. And that's a sign that maybe I have to go home and go to bed.
Listen, if there's anybody who's the Energizer Bunny, I know it's you. Incredible. Hey, the Slam is back in Manitoba. It's in the heartland of curling. So many great memories for you. It's where your family has grown, their love of curling, Carol. Tell us about that and some memories that come up when you're in a rink in this great province.
Well, Winnipeggers, or Manitobans, I should say, are always great fans of their teams. So when Jen started curling really good, and we went to many events, many provincials, a couple of different towns around the province, and I'm very proud to say I've made a multitude of friends. And even coming out here today, I've met some of your crew that I haven't seen for a while, and it's been truly something special I hold very dear.
This is so special to me to have you on the pregame show on your birthday. We love you, Carol, and it's wonderful to see you, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Devin. We love you, too.
Carol Jones on her birthday at a curling rink. Of course, there's no place she'd probably rather be. Happy birthday, Carol. Thank you so much. As we continue to count down to first rocks, you're taking a look at Team Rana getting ready for a big game here tonight. There are the numbers so far at this slam. Hasselborg 2-0, Team Rana 0-2, and there is so much more at stake than just the Players' Championship title for these teams. And for more on that, we'll go up to the booth. John Cullen's going to join me to make sense of everything that I've been talking about, John.
Well,
this
yeah.
subplot to all of it. Tell us about it, because a world championship spot for Sweden's women's side is on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very funny that essentially the Swedish national championships are taking place in Steinbach, Manitoba this year. But yeah, for the curling fans who don't know, Sweden's world women's rep is being decided by points this year, not including the European championships. So Anna won the European championships, but obviously Bella couldn't play in those, so her points in that don't count. But in their top 6 other events, they're adding up all the points, and whoever has the most points gets to represent Sweden at the World. So Bella came into this event with about a 14-point lead. And if you know anything about the points that are available at the slams, the numbers are very high.
Yeah.
And so pretty much if Anna finishes ahead of Bella, if she makes it into the playoffs, for example, if Bella makes the quarterfinals, but Anna makes the finals, then Anna would get to be the rep. And you said right off the top, Anna's at 2-0, Bella's at 0-2. So if Anna wins this game, goes to 3-0, she's probably in at very minimum a tiebreaker, and Bella is likely out. So this could be the game that decides who goes to the Worlds for the women in Sweden.
John, I mean, it's extraordinary. Curling is laced with drama, but as you said, who could have ever predicted that the Swedish playdowns would essentially come down to one game? What's your sense on what this would mean to both teams?
Well, I think it's just, Anna Hasselborg has been the top team in Sweden, and Vrano's been underneath them now for the last few years, chasing them hard, and they're trying to hold on to their spot. They're trying to say, look, we're the Olympic rep. We're the best team in Sweden. We want to prove it. And for Bella and her team, they've never been to the Worlds before. So, you want to talk about getting to prove yourself on the world stage. This is their opportunity to do that. And I think, obviously, it means a ton for both of them. But for Bella, it's just that getting over that final hurdle. And this is maybe the best chance they've ever had to make the Worlds.
As we take a look at the teams settling in and getting ready, it's going to be absolutely dramatic. What should we be watching for early in this one? Because here's the thing about these two teams, John. It's not like there are any surprises between the two of them. They know each other well. They speak the same language. It's going to be dynamite.
No question. I think what I'm watching for is one unique quirk of the Players' Championship, as you know, Devin, is all these teams have a 2-game day in their schedule, and this is the 2-game day for both of these teams. Hasselborg played this morning, the early draw, so they had all day to nap, recover. Isabella Vrano played at noon. They didn't get off the ice until 2:30. They had a heartbreaking loss in that game, so they really only had about 4 hours to park that result and come out here for what is potentially the biggest game of their season. So I'm going to be watching for, have they gotten over that? Are they going to be ready to rock right off the start? Or can Anna just kind of take maybe some negative momentum from Team Vrano and use that to get ahead early?
Absolutely scintillating scene set by John Cullen. No rest for the wicked. You got a game to call on Twitch. Get to your other booth. Appreciate you, John.
All right. Thanks, Devin, for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, there it is. We are just about set for first rocks in this Swedish showdown with everything to play for here tonight. Hasselborg versus Rana. The first rocks are coming up next, as always. Buckle up, curling fans.